Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. We are here on episode 122. That's 122 episodes in a row, weeks in a row. Fantastic. With my boy Chiva. My name is Tony Sanchez. Hi. We are Two Balls and a Mic. We're going to go ahead and talk about San Diego sports and San Diego soccer specifically not doing so well, even down to the lacrosse. San Diego Seals not making it to the championship game, but we're not going to focus on that. San Diego Loyal, once again, fumbling the bag at the end of the game and coming away with 2 less points than they should have. They tie against Los Dos here in this away match. We're also going to talk about San Diego Wave going up to Seattle and losing against OL Reign, a game that they should have at least gotten a point out of. We're then going to jump into the Champions League. That Real Madrid, the champions of champions, 14th Champions League title. We're going to talk about it. We saw it together, so that's going to be something interesting to go over. We're also going to talk about Atlas, bicampeón, el bicampeón del fútbol mexicano, twice in a row. Atlas have become the champions, have won the same amount of titles as Chivas has in the last 10 years. And also Checo Perez, Checo, F1 Formula, the first Mexican to win in Monaco in the F1 events title. I wish we had Virtual Statman with us.
Se puso bien pedo, so he got fucked up.
We heard from Virtual Statman, the great Sean Kelly, statistician for San Diego Loyal,
Something about those yacht parties, right?
who also works as the official statistician for for the F1 Formula Racing. I DM'd him because he's in Monaco, bro, and he's like partying with a yacht. Maybe not partying. He's at work. And then I'm like, hey man, be aware. I responded to one of them where he's on the yacht.
Yeah.
Like, be aware of those restrooms. I heard a lewd acts can happen in some of these marine vessels. And he just like crying and laughing emoji. It's pretty cool to be able to head up somebody who's literally in the center of the world in some sports capacity.
Yeah, bro.
There was a lot of centers of the world, but no center was as devastating as here in San Diego, as we have the great Alan Underwood trying to come in.
Hello.
Season's greetings to everybody in the chat. So go ahead and feel free to answer what you feel is the worst sports feeling that you got over this weekend. I have a feeling that there's a couple of instances where emotions were not at an all-time high for the great Alan Underwood. Hi, Alan. How are you?
Oh, doing all right. It was a fantastic sports weekend for me in San Diego.
I'm sure it was.
Welcome here.
It's a safe space, Alan.
So I mean, just to clarify some of the comments coming up here is like Steve Ball, 48 hours later, I'm still livid about Loyal blowing a 2-0 lead after the 90th minute. And it's one of those things where I'm getting pretty tired of this, Alan. I'm getting pretty tired of.
I have it on our doc, like when we put Loyal. The first bullet point. They did it again.
They did it again.
Yeah,
they did it again.
I think that was actually for me the most upsetting of the games. Like Wave in Olympic Lyonnais, OL Reign. Yeah, it's like an away game. Rose Lavelle is Rose Lavelle. So
exactly.
Like I was mad, but then also happy because I love me some Rose Lavelle. With Liverpool, they played a heck of a game. Like it was like a pretty good game. It was frustrating at times, but it's like, Real Madrid took advantage of the 2 opportunities that they had and buried one, and Liverpool couldn't. And so it was disappointing, but I think I was literally the most upset about the end of that San Diego game. I was coming back from picking up dinner. I had it on my phone, and I was shouting expletives in my car in my driveway while the ref wasn't blowing the whistle, and he wasn't blowing the whistle, and he wasn't blowing the whistle. And you just knew something was going to happen. And for it to end that way was pretty aggravating on multiple levels. To give up a set piece in stoppage time with Preston Judd, keeping him off the score sheet is tough and the best of times. And, I thought the defense played pretty well for, the first 90 minutes of the match. I thought Adams looked pretty decent, but it is frustrating for it to end when you deserve to get 3 points.
Yeah, and
I
it's frustrating. And we were talking about it, right, Tony? We were at that watch party at the hangar. Shout out to Weston, by the way, who threw one of the most fantastic watch
Yeah, no,
parties.
it was the funniest. It was the best.
Yeah.
Like we literally said, it was the best watch party I've ever.
You got to drink,
been
you
to
got
San
to
Diego
eat,
Loyal.
you got to play, you got to watch. Like,
It had everything. Shout out to Keith over at the hangar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a great time out there, and it's not that far. Like for being from South Bay, it's not that far. So if we can do that again, that was pretty cool. But yeah, we were at the watch party. If you want to set the scene, Alan, you said you were shouting expletives at your phone. We were shouting. Well, not even really shouting, because like it was 2-0, and everybody was like, "Great, fantastic," and we'll go over the lineup and who the culprits were this time around, right?
Me.
But you had the feeling of like, okay, 2-0. This there's giant spaces. At any point, it could be 3-0. At any point, it could be 4-0. At any point, and we felt this before. And usually, when this feeling and the force is being tingled, like you just know, like something's off. Like something's not right. Like these goals should be happening. Just quickly before going and chewing people up on the replays, like Kyle Vassell had one where he should have laid it off, and that would have been a 3-0. Kyle Vassell should have scored that penalty. You, Jinx Magoo.
I need to learn to just be quiet when watching a game.
We're sitting, penalty happens, Vassell steps up. All I hear from Chiva next to me, Vassell's gonna hit the woodwork. And I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And I think a couple of chavos that heard you too, like, boom, hits the crossbar. It's like, okay,
He just looked at me like,
it's still 2-0, still this. Like, there's still, it wasn't as bad. And then,
by the way, I've called some good ones too. I told you Koke was gonna stop that penalty, like not the last one, but the other game. So,
well, why didn't you say it this time? Why didn't you say it this time?
So
How about
it's
that?
very frustrating because this was the game that they were like very much dominating, and
this was the game to get
exactly
to
no,
kick
but
some ass.
So you're up 2. It's already the 90th minute. You concede 1, and then it's that feeling again, right? Like, oh shit, it's not a loyal game if they just don't concede late in the game, right? But that feeling wasn't there, especially since they were dominating, right, and all this stuff, and then. What's up with the referee just giving like 3-4 extra minutes? But we'll talk about it.
We're very emotional right now. We're very.
It was a solid starting lineup, right?
There's a point where I'm just gonna throw this on because I want to be caring. Like I care about this, and if I had a San Diego Wave one, I'd do the same. If they're fucking up just as much as Loyal have been so far, but look, this is coming from the heart. Everything that I'm going to say, Landon, players, I love you. Alan, you're awesome too, just involved. But San Diego Loyal's been fucking up this whole season. In general, in all aspects. There's been some trips. There's been some falls. There's been some... It's now going, and it feels like it's just a unilateral thing across the board where... It just doesn't feel right. It feels like it's something special's about to happen. It's boiling. Oh my God, these players are fantastic. They're great. But they're just not getting it done. It bothers Landon. When we talk to Landon about this, he knows exactly how many games, how many times, how many minutes in the last minutes, how many goals have been conceded. Not just this season, last season, the first season. He keeps track of this. So it's not something that they haven't addressed, and it's not being addressed. It's just not working. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're working, it's just not working. Is it players? Is it staff? What is it? I don't understand it. And a lot of people who were there, who pay their money to support this team, to fill up Torero 1/3, 2/3 of the time, and are there to cheer on that team, do not deserve to just lose with a tie. I hate that. Like I hate that. All right, you get Alan.
Tony's
I'm going to put a caveat on that. I'm going to say I agree with that as long as you're talking about Loyal on the road. I think those are very good critiques based on how they've been playing on the road. Like at home, they've been quite dominant outside that Lou City game, right? We've seen, a win turn into a draw against New Mexico, a win turned into a loss against Rio Grande, and a win turned into a draw against Los Dos, all on the road, right? And the Tampa Bay Rowdies looked like they were turning the corner on road woes and giving up goals in the end of the game, and they ended up coming back again. Um, Same thing happened with Oakland. So I would say I'm not sure what they're doing on the road that's different, and not being able to see games out. Like their home record speaks for itself, and we haven't seen them at home in what feels like a year and a half. This is almost like the 4-game losing streak to start out last season, right? But the difference is it's a win, draw, loss, draw.
Yeah.
So like they've been on the road a lot. Like we haven't seen them play a home game since Lou City in April 16th. That's a long ass time. Now COVID, obviously, yes. And some of it might be like the weirdness of playing in kind of empty stadiums in Rio Grande Valley and Los Dos.
Yeah.
Completely empty stadiums against Los Dos. But I would just say, if I would give them the benefit of the doubt, if for a little bit, like on the road, they're drawing on the road, which I think if you said, hey, we're going to draw New Mexico on the road, I think people would be all right. Drawing Los Dos, like again, their home record is pretty substantial. If you, I think they were 4-1 at home, and now this is their first draw at home out of 6 matches. So I think that there's some things to be upset about, and I think that there's some things to be critical of. But Los Dos is one of the best teams in the Western Conference at home. 14 goals, 8 goals against, 13 points out of 16 games. Like, I know it's Los Dos, and they're terrible on the road. And San Diego Loyal right now is 4th place, just on the road. Not great, but not bad. I know some teams have games in hand, which might drop them further, but they're kind of middle of the road on the road. And they are 4th at home in 5 matches, which if they win the next one, they would put them up tied for 1st. So I think that there's some things to be critical of with San Diego Loyal with not finishing games out on the road. And maybe that's the question. It's like, what are we doing mentally on the road that we're not doing at home?
But this was the one, Alan. Like,
yeah,
like you went head to head with Galaxy, won. Like, you, with a rather similar squad, same building, same everything, and you gave it to them. You gave it to that team. And, and when the game started, I was like, yeah, this is what it should be, like head to head. Like, if you play Los Dos after playing the A squad, and in the same similar fashion that you planted yourself in that game, it makes sense that you're up 2-0. It makes sense that you're going to be up 3-0, 4-0, maybe 5-0. And we've seen San Diego Loyal do this. We've seen it happen here. You got Kyle with a good 1-2 with his tag team partner Charlie Adams going back and forth, a good old Brentford English connection. But it is frustrating. You're right. It is away, but there's been a lot of away games, and for the caliber that this team presents, I think that's a frustrating part. Like, we know what these guys are capable of, but they play down to the competition, and you can't do that. You can't do that.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of you. You also got to remember, San Diego is still in 3rd place in the conference, which is really good. I mean, you can be more demanding. This was a game that they were supposed to win, but at the end of the day, they're still 3rd. They're still in a playoff spot. Nobody thought San Diego Loyal was going to be the best team in the USL. Starting going, Mike. Are you okay, Mike?
Report me to HR. I am HR.
So, I mean, 3rd place, I like where Loyal's at right now. It is frustrating when they play away. At home, something about Torero just motivates the players, and they play amazing besides that Louisville City game. Louisville.
It's a good squad.
Yeah, it hit me, Alan, when you said San Diego Loyal hasn't had a home game since April 16th.
I miss these people. Like, I love seeing you guys at watch parties and everything, but it's not the same. It's just not the same.
It's
Like,
really
it's
not.
same people, great atmosphere. You saw Chris and his wife and 3 kids running around. There was pizza. There was
It's something about just being able to walk around fist bumping people.
Yeah,
Like
no, it
everyone's
was a
excited,
great, it was a
everyone's
great
happy.
time, and you
You're
could
getting out to
feel
watch
it.
a game.
Yeah, and
Man, June 11 needs to come faster already, man.
at minute 70 is when I like, oh, okay, like I don't think it's gonna happen. Like I thought, and that's when I went to the restroom for that time. I was like, oh man, the time I went to the restroom and came back, it was a long time, but but you know, I felt the mojo, and that's when the goal ended up coming up, and I was like, wow, like I don't like this. I don't like this feeling out. Chiva, help.
Yeah, no, and again,
What-
and
what-
we've talked to players about like how do you fix this, and Coke has told us it's a mental thing, right? Like if it's gonna stick with them the whole season, then that's when we should be worried. If it's something that they're able to fix and eventually overcome, then great. But again, time will tell, right? We're 12 games into the season already. It's happened what 2 times, 3 times already, where they just at the last minute they concede a goal on whether to tie or lose, right? Twice. 3 times.
Do you guys think? I mean, there's what ifs. But do you guys think like things would be different if that game with switchbacks had happened, win or lose? You know, you play against a really good team, you're sharpening your skills against some of the best, and then you kind of take some of that momentum into the next game. Like, do you think that affected?
I think so. It has to be hard not being able to play a home game in almost all of May, and then half of April, and then like 1/3 into June. So just not being able to play home has to take a toll on you, right? Especially mentally.
Yeah.
You haven't seen your home. You haven't seen the fans at home. You haven't seen the locals and the chavos and the Rainbow Lodge cheering on in 109. So I feel like that does take a toll as a player. And if we're able to go to practice maybe this week, if you guys are watching, let us go to training on Wednesday. And we could talk about that with players, right? Does that take a toll on the team? Is it a morale thing? But I don't know, Alan. Do you think it takes a toll on them?
I mean, I would be surprised if it didn't. I mean, they probably wouldn't like haters just take a toll on you. They'd probably be like, oh no. We're professionals. We can get up. Like we're motivated. But I think there is something to be said about like playing in front of a crowd that has your back and what that can do to build momentum into your away matches. And then I think it was kind of a little disappointing it is disappointing with the Colorado Springs not being there. And, you know, maybe they don't win that one, right? But I do think there is a difference about playing at home versus the road. All of the travel that goes into it is tough on the body. And, you know, I would hope that it doesn't affect them, but you know, traveling to Rio Grande Valley and back, that's not an easy trip.
Yeah.
And I know you have a whole week, but you know, it's a pretty significant trip. And you know, maybe they're just a little bit tired at the end of that LA Galaxy match. You think you have it done, and then the game just keeps going and going and going. Like, I know I'm not a professional athlete playing soccer, but there's times where it's like you're in stoppage time and you're cheering and you're drumming and you're like, holy cow, has it been 4 minutes left?
Yeah.
4 minutes yet, 6 minutes yet? And you look down at your clock and it's like a minute and a half. You're just like, ah. So, and I think that when that first one goes in, I think maybe there's a little bit of a letdown. You're playing on tired legs. I thought the penalty shout was unfortunate. It was two guys kind of shoving each other around, and you know, the players go down. I think that's one where if Judd is trying to make a play on the ball, or whoever gets brought down is trying to make a play on the ball, sure. But if it's guys jostling for position, I think you let that one go. And yeah, Colorado got beat by last place Monterey. But it's like you see them shoving, and he actually grabs him and pushes him to the side, which causes him to fall over. And it's like, you can't call it a foul one way when it's a foul the other way too. Like, I think that's one of the ones where just a no call. Like, sure, there's contact, sure, the guy gets brought down, but I think it's two guys grabbing each other and pushing each other around in order to get Colin Martin to fall. Is that Colin Martin, I think, to fall over? I just think it's one as a referee that you see a guy on the ground and he's going to make the call. But the other part is they're like, oh, well, they put some extra time on the clock because of the goal. It's like, you're 2 minutes over the minimum, and I know it's minimum 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but what minimum 4 minutes means to me is like maximum 5. Otherwise, it'd be minimum 5 minutes, right?
When there's
So
ample opportunity to end a match, right? There was
correct.
times where Loyal had possession, and we're like, what are we doing here? Like, there's, don't lose possession, San Diego Loyal, when they did, but
Yes.
and
I mean, there's some
that's,
things.
there's some
things
fault. Yeah,
yeah. There's some things they could have done to see out the game and
yeah,
get the referee to blow the whistle. But I think it's a little bit much when it's 2 extra minutes on top of, like, the ball's not anywhere close to being played by him. And it's like, I get that's not really any of the rules or whatever, but it's just unfortunate that it's it seemed like, yeah. But I've said before, right? Referees are gonna make calls, and you have to be good enough to get past those calls. And I was pretty livid on the Twitter machines afterwards, and I thought it was a pretty terrible call. But the call was made. The official said it was a penalty, so it's a penalty, and you kind of have to pick up and go. I mean, we saw this with the call over the line last week. Like, sometimes they're going to go your way, sometimes they're not, right? I mean, like, thinking back to the Jack Metcalf Real Monarchs game way back in the day,
yeah,
like, that ball, I don't think that ball was over the line either. But
yes,
like, you get those calls, sometimes you don't. In the grand scheme of seasons, they should balance each other out. Like, maybe we'll get a penalty, a little dodgy penalty later, and we can like be like, all right, score even. Or maybe we'll get a stoppage time goal that goes a little bit longer. Like, we see this all the time, right? In USL, where stoppage time lasts forever. But I think
That is true.
just like stoppage time. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. I'm still pretty angry about it, but I think for San Diego Loyal players, they're probably mad about it for about 24 hours, and then it's time to move on. And
Yeah.
you have a really good opportunity to actually put some points on the board on the road, and they have, right? Like, 2 draws in the last 3 games on the road. Like, is that ideal? No, but it's like win at home, draw on the road. I think you're still holding serve. You now have the tiebreaker against Los Dos. Like, you didn't lose, so you still have the tiebreaker against Los Dos. Yeah, you have some work to do against RGV. You're still in line to get the tiebreaker against Mexico, depending on how well you play them at home. And you still have the tiebreaker in your pocket against Oakland, depending on how well you play them at home. So I think there's some positives here. There's some silver linings that, as loyal fans, we need to remind ourselves of, is that San Diego is still in control of their own destiny over almost all of their tiebreakers. I think all of their tiebreakers, and which was not the case last year, right?
yeah.
And you're still sitting third. I think maybe they can get dropped to fourth with people's games in hand or whatever, but you're still sitting in a home playoff match. This point in the season, after probably not your best run of games, you're still sitting in a playoff spot. Like, there's a lot to be hopeful for, right? You got Baby Bulls, you got Hartford, you got Vegas, and you got Indy 11 in your next 4 matches. 3 of those are at home, right? So you have, you're looking, draw on the road, win at home, you're at 10 points. Like, there's still lots to be really hopeful for and happy about. That I think we've been a little bit spoiled by the beginning of the season, where it was like win, like dominant win, pretty dominant win. Like, there was a lot of really good play in the beginning of the season, and you hit a little bit of a lull, but you're still 6-3-3. Like, that's still pretty darn good.
No, yeah, it's a great
So
record to have.
yeah, there's some things to be happy about, and it's like, don't get too down. Be mad about that game, but don't get too down, because you got to bring it for the next time you get to see them at home, which is hopefully after they take 3 points from Baby Bulls, who have scored 7 goals in 12 games.
Yeah, and by the way, we can be critical and we can just completely bash on them for not winning this game, and then we can talk about Calvas. You mentioned Calvaso, just he had a pass, and I called it. I yelled it out. I was like, "Good shot, Cal. Like, you're the striker. You take the shot." Yeah. He scored a goal and assisted. He's leading the USO tied on top of the scoring table. I believe 8 goals. I think it's 8 goals already. So this guy's. He's a stud, man. It's what we wanted at the beginning of the season, right? We said how Calvaso's going to be scoring a ton of goals for so far. It's so good, right? The team overall is not playing bad. It's literally the last 20 minutes of the game, that's where they struggle. And I don't know if it's a conditioning thing. I don't know if it's a tactical thing that they just kind of get a little overconfident. But hopefully they do fix that. But again, 6-3-3. That's a really good start to the season. And it's where Landon has said before, we're exactly where I thought we'd be. And that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, is he happy where he is and where he thinks he is? That's a difference,
I think
right?
he's content.
He's all right, but like I know what this team is capable of, and it's been a couple of silly mistakes is the thing. Like if it was like, you know, just get outright beat or outright tied, I guess. Like, yeah, I'd accept it, but it's just the way that it just keeps happening. It just seems like a pattern, right? And in moving into playoffs, is this something that they can take advantage of and say like, well, you know, the track record is you can play just like Real Madrid did Liverpool and just do absolutely nothing in the first half, but the second half is what matters, and that's when, you know, they'll give and concede some plays. Procrastinating Puma agrees with you. Is it just me, or does it feel like we're getting bailed by Vassell's high end talent sometimes? Yeah, and he's surrounded by talent.
But that's why you have the player in your team. Like, you rely on these type of players to bail you out. That's the whole point of having them.
I saw this thread going around Twitter about like Spurs, like without Kane and Son, the Spurs will be nobody. It's like, even without the two of the best players in the Premier League. Yeah, of course. You take two of the best players off of any team and they wouldn't be as good. That's just a ridiculous statement. Like, that's why you brought Vassell in, because you needed that. This is what Landon said, right? We're looking at finding the guy right now. If we have a mistake, it kills us. Now that you have a guy like Vassell, like, some mistakes won't kill you because you're going to score enough goals to get points out of games. Now, you got to finish out all 96, 98 minutes, however long that game was, all 100 minutes. Like, you played a really great 90-minute match.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of minutes, right? This is like, you say this all the time, you got to play a full 90, but you really got to play a full 100, right? And then I think that there are some silly mistakes that are being made, but on the flip side of that, like, these small mistakes aren't like structurally a problem, right? There's no like structural problem. There's no tactical problem. The team is good and the team has talent. And so we're seeing them kind of work through and come to a cohesion. And again, I think we were a little bit spoiled earlier in the season where other teams weren't nearly as good. And so San Diego looked way better by comparison. And now some of the teams are getting better. And so now we're kind of in this middle ground of, hey, we need to take that next step forward. And I think for a lot of the match, I think, you know, guys like Kyle Adams looked pretty good. I thought the back line for most of the match looked really solid. Charlie had a great game. Guido had a better game, right? He was MVP of the league for a minute, and then he kind of hit a dip after he got injured or taken out of the game.
The Oakland Roots game,
on the Oakland Root, the turf match. And so there's these moments of kind of brilliance that we get that just we're not quite always putting it together. And then I just feel bad for Koke. Like, you look at San Diego, 21 goals conceded. Like, you think Koke is like a bad keeper, but it's like I don't think
keeping you in games in the same way that Kyle's talent is keeping you in games. Koke has equally contributed to the fact that you have 1 point taken out of these games, and it's not the worst. It's not the worst case scenario. And even, would you rather be a Phoenix fan or a Loyal fan right now? Like, Phoenix, they have their own set of issues. They are one position below Loyal, but you know, they're not having the best of seasons. But I think I'd much rather have the season that Loyal's having over whatever the hell's going on in Phoenix, because I don't know, like, it's wild right now over there. It's because it's right there.
I mean, they have to beat Baby Bulls, right?
They have
this
to.
has to
they
be a win.
They have to.
So if they don't win this game, if they tie.
What was that sigh? I saw you. Whoa, I mean, you don't think they get it done?
If you don't get a win against the last place of that conference.
Yeah, the only game that Baby Bulls has won this year is against Atlanta 2. and that game involved some red cards. The crazy thing about Baby Bulls is like they're not a bad team. They're just not consistent, right? They drew Tampa Bay at home. Like it's like this a young group of kids. So there's talent on that pitch. So I don't want us to overlook them because of where they are on the standing. So I think if you take this game seriously and you're like, you played them like they're a Lou City, you play them like they're a Tampa Bay, you play them like Phoenix, I think that you get something out of this match for sure.
And if
Like,
it happens where Tony, like you were saying earlier, Tony, they play down to their competition's level, and if that's the case, that's the way I see them losing this game. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I really hope it's a trashing and it's just a morale boost for the team, right? Right before coming back and playing at home. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping like a 5-0 win.
I'm worried for that Hartford game.
You think Corey's gonna score? Huh?
Corey's going to score. And he's going to come out firing. He's not playing bad either. That team is not playing bad either, right? Like, I being in the Twitterverse, again, USL expert Alan Underwood. But I think Hartford is very content with the squad that they have right now and the way that they've been playing recently, right?
They're one of the worst teams in the
But
USL.
they have their squad is playing hard. And I keep my eye on Corey. Like, I keep my eye on him. Alan, what do you think? Am I wrong? Just completely wrong?
There's definitely talent like Herzog, Prince Sadie. There's talent on that team. It's not a bad team, but their run of form, the 2 wins that got them that 7 points because they were on 1 point were against Red Bulls, which they won 3-2, and Loudoun, which they won 1-0. And Loudoun is also not a great team.
Okay.
So it's hard to tell exactly who Hartford is and what Hartford is, but I think don't get it twisted where they are in the standings. You can't overlook either of these two teams because once you sleep on somebody, they're going to beat you, right?
Yeah.
It's not like League One, where League One is wild right now. Like, teams are beating teams they shouldn't beat, and teams that are great are losing to bad teams. But yeah, I think with these 2 matches, I think it would behoove San Diego to take this opportunity to play at their highest level that they possibly can, and find that really good starting 11 that I think they're still searching for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these are the 2 matches, on both weekends to really kind of right the ship, get feeling good, get 3 points on the road, come back home, get 3 points at home. And I think, if they can do that, and it starts with winning against Baby Bulls. I think if they can do that, I think we forget a little bit of what happened the past couple matches on the road. But I want to be very cautious with Baby Bulls that, yes, they have 4 points. Yes, they are the worst team in the East. Yes, they can be garbage, but they can also, they can hurt you if you are overlooking them.
They're the worst team in the league, right? Only 4 points.
Yeah, their standings are pretty bad. They've scored 2 goals at home in the past in over 6 matches, 1 draw, 5 losses. But again, just don't get suckered in. Like, play your game. Like, don't play them like they are the worst team in the league. Play them like they're an Eastern Conference foe or a good Eastern Conference team, and I think it'll be fine. Do I think San Diego is going to lose this match? No, but there's a very real chance if San Diego doesn't put them away early, then you're up a goal, and then all you need is a fluky goal, a weird bounce, a 6, 7, 8 minute penalty, and it's another draw on the road, right?
Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say Alan's the one saying these things, guys.
This is the same silence that came upon me after that first goal against Galaxy. It's just
put it behind you.
Don't put it behind me. But then this just sets up perfectly for for a trap game for Loyal and again just fumbling it and again this is based on that track record that we've seen and it's possible, but I think there's one thing that San Diego Loyal hasn't done yet, scoreline wise, and that's have a high scoring tie. 2-2, okay. What about a 4-4? Just, they score 4, they get one, get one back.
That won't happen for this game. I
No?
think this game's gonna be like a 2-0, 3-0 maybe. If it's more than 3 goals, I'll be really.
So clean sheet. All right.
It should be a clean sheet.
I say you get to 3 as fast as you can.
Yes. Run up the score. Yeah.
Just get to 3, and then you'll be fine. Get to 3.
That's the
Make
best
it
way to win a
3-0. Put them down. Say, hey, don't you want to save your legs for next week?
Yeah.
You
got
scored
loud
3 in the first half.
You guys got Loudon after us in 4 days. Like, just roll over. We'll scratch your belly, and then you can go beat up on Loudon and try to get out of the goal. Or
You're Red Bulls too.
You scored 3 goals in the first half. That way, the game can end 3-2 in the last minute, and you don't
live in
drop
New York.
points, so.
Live it up. Go to Central Park.
What's the weather gonna be?
Go to the Met.
New York over there.
It's a good question. Go to the MoMA. Literally watch Van Gogh's Starry Night in person. It is shout out to Chris. Happy birthday, Chris, on Thursday, because yes, this game is on Thursday because this game was rescheduled actually.
Wow.
And
wow. Thunderstorms
for Thursdays in New York.
50% chance of rain.
Some freaky deaky rain, thunder, lightning delay, and the 50th minute after Loyal's winning 2-0.
It's hot as fuck over there.
And it's going to be humid, and then they're going to have to stop the game. 60th minute, they go back in, they come back out. Red Bulls is just reinvigorated. They're young kids. They're hungry. They come back and just win 3-2. Happy birthday, Chris. It's his birthday on Thursday. Because this game is at 2 p.m. too, so that's 5 p.m. Eastern time. Good math.
Hey,
Tony.
watch party at my school at work. Nah, I'm just kidding.
How are you going to watch this game or listen to it, Alan?
On Thursday?
That's the day before the last day of school.
I will, at this point, will be in a hearing, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to watch this one live.
Good luck.
My kids are gonna watch the game.
If you need someone to bail you out, Alan, just call our homies at Golden Boy Bail Bonds. Shout out Golden Boy Bail Bonds.
No, not my hearing.
Oh,
hearing.
okay. Moral support. Got it.
We're gonna.
Yeah. I mean, if the hearing, if the person who is at the hearing, I'm on the panel, settles, then I will be done with teaching, and I'll watch it in my classroom while I grade some papers. Otherwise, I'll probably have to watch this one back later with hashtag spoilers all over the place. So I'll probably know what happens, and then I will be all right. Because watching afterwards with already knowing the scores takes all the emotion out of it, and then I won't be mad at a referee for calling a 17th minute in the stoppage time penalty.
So what's your prediction, Alan?
3-0.
Oh, okay.
I like that a lot.
I'm trying to manifest that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The cautious. Got to be cautious because they can strike at any point, but they won't strike. It'll be a big old donut for Baby Bulls. I like that. I mean, if we're being real with it, okay, 3-1. They get one in.
I'll go 2-0.
Okay, another clean sheet. So, all right, we're all going with wins. Let's manifest this
for them
win.
to only score 2 goals at home.
We're not asking for a lot here, guys.
I think it's doable. Does Austin start this game? Maybe. Okay, I don't want to sound like a freaking asshole, but if Austin starts the game, I really hope he gets a clean sheet. But if he starts, I really doubt it.
Shout out Golden Boy.
If he rotates the defense, maybe they will allow 1 goal. So, if it's the same starting lineup that we saw against Los Dos, they win 2-3-0. If it's
win with the alternate,
it'll be like a 2-1 game.
Okay.
It's a win regardless. So
it's a win regardless.
But I do think he'll rotate the squad in this game. We'll probably see one of the kids. We'll probably see CJ getting a start or something. I don't know. Nick Moon wasn't available for this game. I hope he's not injured.
Better not.
So you can tell when Nick Moon is not playing.
You really can.
You really can, yeah.
Whew. Sirius XM, Sirius Radio, Alan. Get on it.
My kids at work are about to watch their first San Diego Low game. So
My fear with
All
that
right.
is there's some grotesque injury that the kids will see, and it's just like scars them forever.
It's okay.
You live and you learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, Alan, I think you're a busy person teaching the youth and getting what's right for the teachers of California and getting them paid because they deserve to be paid.
It's inflation, man.
I know, gas is ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Oh, tell me about
It's
it.
so
I
dumb.
don't, I don't know what that's like.
That's right. That's right. You have a little battery car that gets recalled every
Hey,
2
I
minutes.
have a golf cart.
Yeah,
No, I'm-
no, gas is too expensive, man.
Yeah, I've heard. It's wild out there.
Just don't drive it on a very hot pavement, Alan, because the battery might just melt and explode. Just keep that in
I'll
mind.
work on that.
Just keep that in
I'll work on
mind
that.
as I kill the
Fair enough.
planet with.
Yeah, you're killing the
With
planet.
petroleum.
Alan and I are saving Earth.
That's right. You have a bike. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm sad I missed the watch party. I didn't go to the Liverpool one either. I got like 42 exposure notices at work this week, so I was like, I
Wow.
probably should err on the side of caution.
Yes.
And so, tested, everything's negative. I'm not feeling bad, but I just didn't want to put anyone at risk just in case, because I like both of those groups. So I sat at home and watched on my phone and yelled in my car. So that was all right.
It's cathartic. It's cathartic.
Yes. Happy almost end of Memorial Day to
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
And yeah, hopefully San Diego does the thing on Thursday.
Well, now we
All
gotta
kinds.
now we gotta turn it around and talk about the other San Diego team that also had an away loss. So, well, they didn't lose Loyal, but you know what the feeling is. But yeah,
feels like a
sorry, Alan, for Liverpool. Sorry, Alan, but we're almost there. The school year's almost over. You're gonna have a summer of love, summer of fun.
Hawaii's right around the corner.
It's
Alan.
almost you're almost there, Alan. You're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, I can taste it. It's amazing.
Yes.
All right, friends.
All right, bro.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night,
Enjoy
Alan.
the
Thank
rest
you,
of your
Alan,
evening.
at Alan 8 Underwood 48. Check him out.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow him on Twitter.
Better.
Oh, el otro San Diego. The wave. The wave.
All right. So,
Thank you to everyone that's been joining and participating in the chat. We are going to be giving away a jersey.
show him the jersey. Where is it?
It's going to be this week. We have England's blue with red Nike jersey with the collar.
Do you like collars on your jerseys?
I don't.
Interesting.
I don't. And
Manchester United has the collar next year.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I like the jersey though, but we're gonna be giving that one away towards the end of the stream.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So stay tuned and let's talk about San Diego Wave because they lost.
San Diego Wave went away over into Seattle. So they played the OL Reign in the Challenge Cup, but the Challenge Cup didn't tell us anything about San Diego Wave because they didn't do as well as this team was planted and built for. But then they started the season. They started, being world breakers. So from what we saw at the last midweek game over when they lost in a set piece, that was a rotational squad. Moving into the game after, it was more of a traditional squad, and they came back and they ended up winning that game. Moving on to this away game, the lineup seemed similar. They seemed like a strong lineup. Obviously, you got Sheridan. That's a position that's not going to move for the entirety of the season. Naomi Gurma,
same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Probably a rookie of the year here.
Van Egmond, same thing. Solid.
This
center
solid.
defensive end.
You have Jody Taylor, Sophia Jacobson, Alex Morgan, boom, 1, 2, 3, just top of the line. Kristen McNabb, former OL Reign.
Yeah.
She's played there up until 2021, and she played more of a defensive role. Here in Wave, she's more of a center mid, and she seems to be adapting pretty well in that role. So it was a homecoming for her. We had her at the press conference after the match, so let's see if I can pull that up in a bit. Tegan McGrady, Kaylee Real also on there after having, some good words spoken by Casey Stoney about her performances.
She's been stepping up.
She has been.
Abby Dahlkemper has, got hurt, tweaked up, right? And wasn't available for this game.
Yeah.
And it's just been a very unlucky
It's
start
been
for
tough
her.
for Dahlkemper. But you know what? This defense has been stepping it up. These players have been, doing what they have to do. Tegan McGrady, Kristen Westfall, another player that's been playing very well, and then Taylor Kornick up there. So a really good squad, but it wasn't
kept most
enough.
of the possession, right?
Oh no, that's Allen's.
They were dominating possession-wise this game. 14 shots by Olympic Rain, 4 on target. But Rose Lavelle, right? She's just a baller for Rain, and
so there's in getting to know the players and getting to know NWSL and getting to know or just like with the little knowledge that I had and we had going into it, like Rose Lavelle is one of those names that just kind of, Rose Lavelle, Alex Morgan, que está, ¿cómo se llama? Marta, like these names that, you're not into the sport, that you just know them and you know that they're good. Rose Lavelle's one of them. She actually had a solo chance where she just ripped through the entirety of the defense for San Diego Wave, and she shot just a little off target over to the left hand side. But overall, it was a tough game.
It's gonna happen. You're not gonna win every single game, and you're still on top of the table with 12 points, only 3 goals against in 6 games, which is not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think San Diego Wave is in a position where they should be very much happy with. Obviously, there's something like those games you want to at least get a draw away. They have one more away game this Saturday against Kansas City, and then they're back at home for consecutive matches, over 2 consecutive matches, right? So it's going to be a Wednesday game, June 8th. Then you play Sunday, June 12th. So 2 games in 1 week at home, which is great. So we'll definitely be out there for those games. But finally, whoa. What is that? Oh, okay.
The press conference.
I got scared. I was like, wait, what happened?
No, you're good.
But yeah, so I think it's hard to be mad at a team when they lose when they're playing so great in the season.
Rain is a really good team.
They really are.
And that's something that Casey Stoney, McNabb, obviously knowing the team very, very, intimately knows that this is a good team. And so there's talent on every front in every team. There's some teams that you're going to beat 4-0. There's some teams, this is a wild league. This is a wild league. There's 12 teams.
Especially this season because from what we'd heard, expansion teams don't usually do too well their first year or the first couple years joining the league. And San Diego's on top, Angel City second. Yeah. So they're both making a statement. So hopefully San Diego's Wave run keeps up. But you were present at the virtual press conference for this one, which is honestly something so cool. I wish Loyal would also do. But
they can do whatever they want. But yeah, so let's see if I can sync this up. It was Kristen McNabb and Jody Taylor first up. Oh, where's the mouse? There it is. I just want to ask both of you, what are the challenges that you've been facing in this last couple of games, obviously being on the road and not having a home game in a while? What are some interesting challenges that has brought up? And obviously still have one more. What preparation are you, and what have you learned from this game moving on to that last game? Sorry, I hate listening to myself. And I have to present myself, right? Like look at this dipshit, right? Like, what is he doing? Like, it's just, this is literally on the press conference. I'm the only one with the camera on, like, season's greetings, hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? Hey, they're sponsors.
Yeah.
Shout out to Calafino Tequila. If you want to use promo code 2balls20, get yourself 20% off on any bottle and any product of Calafino Tequila on their website. That's 20% off. Use promo code 2balls20. That's 2BALLS 20 for 20% off. Thank you for that. Great segue for that. But yeah, so. Yeah, same thing, right? Like, we want to talk about San Diego Loyal just in general, in a sports sense. What is it like? What are the dynamics about being away for so long in an away game? So because they've also not been playing at Torero in a while. It's been a dry spell at Torero for soccer wise.
Sorry for the no vlogs. There's no games to go to.
So and from what we heard, the last time they went up to Seattle, they didn't have great accommodations. Wave didn't. They didn't have, they just for the level of athletes that is playing, like it just wasn't acceptable. Yeah, in a bit, boys. We gotta talk local first.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What-
so
what did they say?
What do they say? The interesting part, right?
Yeah, games are always difficult on the road in this league. It's a lot of travel. We have been on the road quite a bit. And it's just game management when you're away and what that looks like. It's a different field. Obviously, we're on turf today, a different weather, and that's just the challenges that everybody faces in this league. I think we've done relatively well considering, being kind of back-to-back games, I think 4 on the road. Obviously, we had a big win last week against North Carolina, 3 games in a week, which was huge.
Alan's still there. Alan's joining us.
Oh,
for the
Alan's
wave
joining us from
content.
beyond.
But yeah, that's.
Hey, Alan.
I like her answers. Was that like a Gatorade hydration pack thing, or
I
was
think
it water?
So. Maybe like I don't know. Like it's just again elite of the athlete. They get the best stuff. Like if you guys were to see the trainings, their Gatorade containers and how it's all set up, like
Yeah.
Oh man, like it's just the bee's knees. Yeah.
So yeah, there's gonna be international games, and some players are not gonna be the Sheridan's gonna be with Canada.
Yeah.
So it's 619 Soccer mentioned. Will be interesting to see if they trust Loader. Is that how you pronounce it? Loader. When Sheridan is out. So we've seen her at training as well, and just she plays well too. So we'll see. I think I saw on Twitter someone that was present there that said they mentioned that Casey Stoney said that they're looking to maybe sign some players as well. Because of this, they have 2 international slots left. Yeah, so we'll see who they bring in.
Speaking of Casey Stoney.
Oh, hey.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, that's after. Whoops. A ver, Antonio, ¿dónde estás? Good afternoon, Coach. Want to go ahead and ask, obviously, this is a long road and stretch of away games. How has that affected or impacted this team overall? Same line. And obviously, the first half and overall in the game, the team played very well defensively. They did. Is there something that's going to go back as far as training when it comes to set pieces? Is that an area of focus? And what are some positives that you take out of today? Loaded question. But the only soccer-related question at the time, she did get asked about the Battle of the Coolers. Literally, the next question was, how did you feel about the Battle of the Coolers?
The what?
So, OL Reigns coach and Casey Stoney like to sit on coolers during the match. Like,
this is why she freaking hates.
This is why she fucking
press conferences.
Hates media time.
She hates
it. And
I hope she doesn't hate us.
Well, you'll see. I'll see if I'll show it. But I don't know if it shows it, but there was like a little smirk of acceptance, like thank you, fucking a soccer question. And then I let off both questioning, so good. 2 balls in the mic, yay.
Well, I think in possession we were very good at times, very composed, very calm. We probably could have hurt the opposition a bit more with those possession moments. In terms of set pieces, it's just looking at our structure in those moments. A, do we need to give away the free kick? And then B, how we defend it, and our organisation on that, and how we make sure that we don't concede from those. But listen, there were so many positives to take in terms of the way we retain the ball. We need to work on ball retention and purpose, making sure we've got a purpose to what we're doing, and then obviously we'll look at the set piece thing as well. So so that we make sure we pick up more points.
Thank you, Coach. Safe travels.
Thank you. Yeah. Great answer.
No, that was a great answer. Like, that was a really good answer. Like, if you're not listening to what she's saying, like to move with purpose, right? It's not just having the ball at your feet and moving forward with it. It's being intentional about what you're doing and having a plan of action and having A, B, C, or D, and choosing the right one in any given situation moving forward. And this is the genius of somebody like Casey Stoney, who's been there at the top level and has played it and understands the game to a fundamental, just to a cellular level. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so San Diego Wave lose this match against Oil Rain, a good team. But again, I do believe that let's see, they do come back before Loyal at home.
Wednesday, June 8th. Yes.
Wednesday, June 8th. They play
Wednesday,
against
11th.
Portland Thorns.
So we have a game at Torero Wednesday, June 8th again for Wave, a game on Saturday, June 11th for Loyal, and then a game on Sunday, June 12th for Wave again. So in a week we have 3 games at Torero to go to.
Something that Jody Taylor did mention was, and it's true, is not conceding fouls where we don't have to. Clearly, because the foul was conceded by Alex Morgan for that set piece goal, and so I think they're going to go back, and that's a moment where Alex has to take responsibility for what happened in the transgressions and putting the team in that position at that time and not committing silly fouls. And Jody Taylor did say that as well. And again, area focus, set pieces. How do you defend set pieces? If somebody's good at set pieces, it's hard to defend anyways. So. Hopefully this doesn't become a trend, but either way, San Diego Wave is still in good standing, obviously, in first place, Angel City, as you were mentioning, but OL Reign right there in third, within striking distance. Pretty much Wave has a 3-point lead on any other team in the league, but things are looking good. Next one's Portland Thorns, who is in 8th place, but I'm happy to see soccer at Torero once again.
You know who's not doing so good.
Who?
San Diego Union Tribune. They're not doing too good out there, Tony. I know you're a little pissed about some
obviously
things.
we have to lead off with what the actual story is, with the actual facts and what the soccer had to do with it, right? So on, what was I? I'm just still giving this thing attention, like whatever, have to, because it's bullshit. Like, and coming into
bullshit.
it, like, again, like, I'm not saying like I'm just some white knight that it's righteous of us to. There's a lot of learning that we have to do. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of language that we have to cut back on, and it's intentional to do that. It's like, and we could talk about it. Like, instead of saying, oh wow, like the level of these players in San Diego Wave is outstanding. It's like stop being surprised by world-class athletes doing what they do and doing the best, right? It's not right to word it that way. Anywho, so on the San Diego Union Tribune, you know exactly who wrote this. TM, TK, whatever initials, you know who wrote this. Writing on their whole, like, I looked at the Twitter timeline, the last 6 things that they tweeted is pretty much San Diego Wave content. So I think they realize that there's something there, as opposed to San Diego Loyal, who gets like a paragraph. But the things that they do write about San Diego Wave, one, fillers.
Let me read the first sentence of this article, right?
Yeah.
A painful day in Seattle was good for the San Diego Wave in contrast to the 2010 San Diego Chargers.
So, what?
Why?
I as a former Charger fan, I fully understand what the table that's being set is, and I understand the connection of what he's trying to do, but there's no fucking reason
It's fucking
why
ridiculous.
you should compare. Like, let's apples and oranges could not be more fucking different. Let's leave the women's soccer, or no, it's soccer, and comparing it to football.
That
just
pisses me off
football.
when you do
you
comparisons
hate
about
that.
2 separate sports.
Yeah.
Like I get it if it's just like a joke or something, but to actually write in a fucking article,
So not just
this
that,
guy
right?
gets paid to do this.
This guy gets fucking paid to do
Like,
this.
what the fuck is this?
And I read the article. Like, I read the article just to be safe and sure. Like, because I saw this.
So I read
headline,
it.
I was like,
I read it too
what?
because I saw you tweet and you were fucking pissed, and I'm like, okay, like, are you pissed because it's Chargers or what is that? And then 2 whole paragraphs about
yeah.
Chargers. What the fuck?
Yeah, and I get it. You're filling out words. Our good buddy Marco, like, it's just filling words for his word count, essentially, to be able to publish this. I understand that, but the angle you take and the stretches that you make to make this connection are just so asinine, so unnecessarily
Hire
What?
someone that knows the game
What?
to just write about soccer.
You are in the press conferences with us. You have the same amount of access that we do. Sure, we understand the game in a different manner that you might, but don't feint intelligence in this sport just because you have that access and can make this connection. Oh, I have to make the fucking former Charger fan or the Charger fan who's still here understand why Wave is this and this
If
and
I'm
this.
reading
Like,
an article about San Diego Wave, I don't want to read about a loss of a football team that used to be here 12 years ago.
and I remember this game. I know what they're talking about. I know, but to make the connection between soccer and football is a non-starter, first of all. But why? Like, why do you need to do that? Like, again, we're not white knighting here. I just hate the coverage of soccer in this town in that way. What we do is, I don't know what we do. I really don't know what we do.
We do what we
have
want to do.
interviews with Andrew Carlton that get
Some people didn't
get
like.
scrutinized and didn't like, but that's journalism, and I got called a
Are we
fake journalist,
journalists?
which is fine. I don't know.
I don't
No,
consider myself-
no,
I don't write.
We can, and this got me really thinking of like, should I
You don't
write?
want me writing shit. I can pitch ideas, but you don't not.
I write, like, I know how to write, but like, who's that going to be for? Like, if I write, why don't I say what I'm going to write on the pod type of thing? You know, like
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
You should write
I'll
one.
fucking
Just,
write.
You should write one just to rub it in this guy's face. Because man,
Yes, I mean,
fucking up San Diego Union
like,
Tribune.
why?
Fucking
Why?
up.
And it's so simple just to put some effort into it. You know what? I just might just write something in that style, like
Do it.
because
Fuck this shit.
I don't know, man.
Like,
It's just sad. It
Yes,
just
you're
pisses me
covering the
off.
game. Yes, you're covering the sport. It's growing in San Diego, but do it right. Don't be a shitty. Don't do it. Don't half-ass it and do something shitty about it. Right.
Aw.
Two Balls and a Mic is our place for soccer. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
All kinds.
Man,
We actually, it's not the
honestly-
first person who said that is over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like, honestly, the few of you that just listen to our shit every time and just give us a board, just honestly means the world to us. Yeah,
how is that allowed to be published? Like,
we may not have the biggest numbers. We may not be blowing up.
we see the coverage from
But
other
we do
outlets
what we
too
want.
here in San Diego, and in the mainstream media sense, with like, hi, I'm Tony Sanchez, and after the break, we're going to tell you what happened with the San Diego Loyal and the San Diego Wave as they squander some points. More at 10. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
We see good pieces and good, hardworking individuals create, record, interview. I'm in awe. I'm like, wow, that's like this dude went to school for it. Like, this dude's good. Like, and then I see what the product is and how they mash it and mangle it and then just output it. Por el culo, por el pinche trasero, güey. Por el ano sale. Like, I'm sorry for the words being used, but it's just hot garbage. Yeah.
The next comment, Steve. Odds the Union Tribune asked if the Wave can win the World Cup. Just how they asked Schweinsteiger, remember?
Oh,
a couple
my
years
God,
ago.
yes.
Oh, that would be something this guy does. No, I mean, whatever. Do fucking better.
Yeah, just do better.
That's it.
You guys are great.
Oh man.
Shout out to the boy listening in. I know he's been wanting to listen in live. The boy Javi. Shout out to the such.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, that upset me, and
Yeah, Union Tribune.
it upset a lot of people, and I'm glad it upset a lot of people because again,
As it should.
it's the people who are in the know that deserve this respect, and this is why soccer, and this is why when people say like Landon, like, hey, we're trying to make the soccer capital of the world here in San Diego, the U.S. here in San Diego, que no sé qué, you have to fucking fix this shit. Like, that has to change. I really don't care if. Like, I like competition. If I see other like little podcasts
Yes,
coming
he
up,
does. Oh, trust
I'll
me.
be
Yes,
like,
he freaking does.
my eye on you. Like, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Russian
you
bots
do.
following you on Instagram. Like, okay, that's inflation, whatever. But like, when it comes to mainstream media, and I'm like, okay, like, yeah, they're the big guns. They have the big cameras. They have the equipment. They have this is their job, right? This isn't our job. But
Oh no.
if some sort of coverage was to happen on a mainstream level that's decent and good, I'm all for it. Like,
Hats off to
hands
you
off.
guys.
Great.
Hats off.
Great. But we'll try to take
But
care
we're
of
not
this
seeing it. We're not seeing
area.
it, so we got to do it. So
And then even the teams, team singular, when they try to do things genuinely, all they try to do is go and fake appropriate what's already been built here, and take credit for it. And I'm telling you right now, it's gonna happen. It's gonna, te juro, Chiva, it's gonna happen.
wait, what? What's gonna happen?
It's gonna start. It's just the machine of appropriation and just like taking credit for stuff that isn't theirs, that was never theirs. No. Like, go down to it. Be there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Soapbox
No, yeah,
time. I'm
yeah.
off. All right. Thank you.
No, you every right to be upset, and that's why we're doing this, guys. We're not seeing people do it right. We want to do it our way.
Hey guys. Hey. Tranquilos, viejos. Great people that work there, but like,
Do better.
the output is not good. Not saying PJ, our output is fantastic. Like, look, it's a fucking dipshit ass garage with like it is what it is. But we're gonna get to the World Cup, and if the Union Tribune gets a credential for the World Cup, I see me voy a enchilar. I'm gonna get upset.
Yeah.
If I see that dude anywhere near a World Cup,
Your inner Will Smith.
nah, it wouldn't get to that.
Nah, of course not. We're respectful people. Respectfully, do fucking better.
Who are you
PK.
talking about there? You'll find out. You'll
Ow.
find out, boys.
Ahora pues, gracias por estar. Where is Ricardo still here? He wanted us to talk about Atlas.
We'll talk about Atlas before we're in the Champions League, because Atlas is, bicampeones del mundo.
I mean, you want me to just run you by Atlas real quick?
Yes, go.
You're gonna go to the bathroom. I know you are. So, Atlas, back-to-back champions in Liga MX. So, winning a back-to-back championship in Mexican soccer, for those of you who don't know, it's very difficult. You don't see it. The competition is very, very well-rounded in the Mexican League. There are those teams like Tigres that are just stacked. America, who were at last place in the table and then somehow just had a great season, great run, and went to the semifinals. So, there are those teams that are always there. But the champion usually ends up being a different team every season, which is wild, honestly. So, with Liga MX, Atlas, a team that had not won in almost 80 years a title, they won it last year. Amazing story. Even I was like, oh, good for them. I hate Atlas. They're this team's Chivas. It's a derby. We hate Atlas. So, for them to go back to back, it killed me, guys. It pained me. Now they've won the same amount of titles Chivas has won in the last 16 years. They own Guadalajara right now. It's crazy to say, but it just sucks that both my teams are just very much trash right now. But speaking of Atlas, they played great. Quiñones, who when he was in Tigres was just irrelevant. He was just not playing well. And it's so crazy that when you find the team that is best for you, you can play lights out and you can be amazing and you can be one of the best in the league. So shout out to Quiñones. Quiñones just amazing season, amazing player for Atlas. Just kind of turned everything around over there. They won't go 3 times. That would be very difficult. I think the last team that won Bicampeonato was León, and I think before that was Pumas, and one of them was against Chivas as well. So yeah, Atlas, back-to-back champions. What else can I say, Ricardo? Is there anything I missed there, man? I know you like your Atlas, dude, but yeah, Tony.
Are you?
Chivas are no longer the best team in
any
Guadalajara right now.
part of right for the moment at the moment? Is there any part of you that's happy for
No.
Atlas?
No.
Not even for what they went through.
And I just said that, like when they won it last year.
No. When they what they went through with Querétaro, like, is there any part like?
You see, with the whole Querétaro thing, it fucking sucked. Like nobody deserves that. But it's also the Barras just beefing, and it got out of hand. But for the team itself, I'm very much upset that they won a back-to-back championship.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I wanted Pachuca to win it, honestly. It in other things though, like this is great for San Diego Loyal because it's a Charlie team winning the title again.
Yeah.
So
Charlie
just
on
on
Charlie
the rise.
action.
So it was a second final back to back where it's 2 Charlie teams. So
A lot of people pay
there
a lot of money
be
for
some
Charlie on Charlie
New
action.
Mexican teams who's maybe moving over to Charlie. I would love if Chivas were a Charlie brand. Like I'm sure Charlie will love that too. It's one of the biggest markets in Mexican soccer.
It's the biggest one.
Nothing, you nailed it. Thank you. Yeah, so congrats Atlas, bicampeonato. It won't get to a it won't get to 3.
Tricampeonato?
It won't get there.
Who
That's-
was the last? Has there been a tricampeón? Because I remember bicampeón was Pumas. The last one was
No,
Pumas.
León.
Oh,
got
León.
the campeonato as well. And tricampeonato, I don't think so. At least not in my lifespan. So, but yeah, Atlas, congrats. Moving on to another final, a small one, if I say so myself.
It's crazy when people's like the numbers just always just blow my mind when people are like, the Super Bowl's the biggest thing watched. How many
I've seen
people watch
that American people that
Super
just admit as well that
208 million?
like there's people now that admit that soccer is just greater. Like I think there was a question I forgot on Twitter. I don't know if it was ESPN, but it said, "What would you prefer, to have your team win the Champions League or your country win the World Cup?" What? That was like a question they made. I was like,
Who?
I don't know if it was ESPN or it was one of those pages.
Sports Center.
But it's winning the World Cup.
Was it Nugget on Instagram? Nugget?
Nugget? What?
You don't follow Nugget?
No, I don't follow.
It's like one of those like funny hood vids, but it's just called Nugget, and it's a chicken nugget. Like it has actually really good
How many
content.
people watch the Champions League?
So in 2014, the UEFA claimed that this year's final had projected a global unique reach of 380 million viewers, making it twice as popular as the Super Bowl. That number has also undoubtedly grown in recent years through the reports of 2021 having 700
Almost a billion people.
million
Almost a
viewers
billion.
appear wide off the mark. So
That's wild, man.
it's the biggest thing.
And a lot of people don't get to watch it just because, they don't get whoever just is gonna show the game in whatever country they live in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like at least here in the U.S., the TUDN have the rights for it now, and Paramount Plus. So
I had to be somewhere to watch on the Saturday at a certain time, and I was like, I had it perfectly timed. Gonna be cutting it close.
Yes.
Like it's perfect.
he told me, I'll get to your house right after the game. I have to go do these things, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whew. What
and,
happened?
And then we get there, and it gets delayed
It's all about city.
for
No,
like-
dude, come on.
for like, whoa.
What was delayed? It was
Tranquilo, viejo.
delayed for a good 40 minutes.
It was delayed for a good 40 minutes, and I guess this is why. Just French policing, the way that French police do, mobilizing and making sure that nobody breaches into the Parc
Now,
de France.
Is this on like the stadium, like personnel that work, like all that? Is this on them? Is this on the security? Is this on Liverpool fans?
It's
like-
all on Liverpool fans.
It's
the
all on
Liverpool
Liverpool
fans.
fans,
Yeah, the
yeah.
Liverpool fans are to blame here. But yeah, so
the game happened. Before that, we had a performance
Whoa.
by Camila Cabello,
which I'm so happy she tweeted what she tweeted.
and she deleted that tweet
She
too.
deleted the tweet, but I mean, I loved it because you can tell it was just eating at her in the performance. Like it was just she was not a happy camper.
Yeah.
But
shout out
that's
to
what
the
she
shout out
happens.
to the fans for just
shout out to the fans
singing their chants louder than the performance. But like, I mean, it's not a Super Bowl halftime show. Us fans, we don't care who performs before the game. Like
Is there a performer that you would have been more okay with?
Shakira.
Just to come in and
just
waka
to rub it
waka?
on Piqué's face.
Oh damn, that he's not there. So the lineups for Liverpool were as such. You had Alisson, Virgil, Van Dijk, Konate, who played a really good game in the first half,
Probably their
and
best player.
you know he was pretty on point. Robertson on the left, but probably the worst player, I think, just with the potential of
And-
impact that he had, is Alexander Arnold.
And I said it right. I've told friends that are Liverpool fans, Alexander Arnold is gonna have a tough game against Vini.
Yeah.
He's the pure speed of Vini. Just defensive wise, Arnold is not the best. He's very good
He's
at
not.
attacking.
Moving forward, he's probably the best right back.
Really good crosses.
Right,
Just
yeah.
everything was off for Liverpool, honestly, and for both the teams at the start of the game.
Yeah.
It was
It was a
off.
shit show. Like
Yeah.
I think it has to do with that delay. Like it's just the headspace you have to be into. The internal clock of players is just very rigid. Same thing with San Diego Loyal. Like the fact that they didn't play that Colorado switchback game, I really think that affected them to a core. So then you also have Fabinho, Henderson, Capitan, and then Thiago, who was injured and probably shouldn't have started in this game.
And you can tell, like, it kind of affected him, right? You had Luis Diaz, who has been glorified by media and Liverpool fans about him just being already one of the best in the world after playing like 10 games with Liverpool.
Yeah.
You have Sadio Mane, who's on his way out already from Liverpool, probably to Bayern Munich. And then you have Mohamed Salah, who's been talking shit before the game
revenge
started.
game. Like, he's going to get his and blah, blah, blah.
That dude was
Weedy. Like,
talking
yeah, he
shit.
was talking shit. And this is what happens when you talk shit. You get hit. Mane up top in the false 9 position. Luis Diaz. They don't have that striker.
You can tell that presence in the box was missing, right? And Firmino can give you that. And just this is the lineup that clubs have been starting, and it's been working out in the Premier League and everything else. They need a number 9. They need a striker. I say they go for Luis Suarez if they want to win Champions League next year. Jurgen Klopp very confident saying, well, where's the Champions League final next year? Istanbul? Yeah, book your hotel already. Very confident that they'll be back next year.
That's a jinx right there. You should know about that. On the other side, you had the lineup for Real Madrid. Player of the match. Player, Dios de Dioses, ascending the apotheosis of Thibaut Courtois into godhood. Super Saiyan Courtois.
Tony and I watched this game together, and I kid you not, the excitement of this guy's face when he sees a world-class performance by any goalkeeper, it's like a child just eating cotton candy for the first time. That's a great reference. Like that, like he's just like, oh, Courtois, Courtois, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah,
like,
and that's the thing. Like immediately, like immediately upon him putting his fingers to the ball, I'm just like, oh, that's a great save. That's just like the recognition, and people are like, even the announcers are like, oh, that's a good Courtois, good stop. I'm like, no.
He wanted
it's a
the
fucking
game, dude.
great stop.
Yeah.
Like some of the stops that he made were, I don't know, like you had to be there, bro. So the rest of the lineup, you have Fernand Mendy, who you were surprised started.
Yeah, so it made sense, right? You need speed on the at the left back and right back position. So you start Mendy to cover Salah. I think he did a pretty good job overall. You have Alaba, pacey. I don't like when defenders go from left back and transition over to center backs. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think Alba is not the best at center back, but I mean, pretty decent game. Militao, who's arguably, I guess, one of the top 5 center backs in the world right now. You have Carvajal, just the experience he has. Have to have him on there.
Yeah, man, like he's been there. Like he's one of those players that, spoiler alert, Madrid won 5 Champions Leagues. Like
along
Nacho.
with that is Modric, Casemiro, and Kroos, who are probably the greatest trio on midfield of all time. You win 5 Champions League in 9 years, 8 years.
Yeah, because Iniesta and
Xavi,
Xavi
Iniesta, Busquets. They were great. No, but
trio.
you add Busquets on there because it's them 3 for a long time.
Yeah,
I think this is better than that.
really.
Individually, I don't think so, like Iniesta and Xavi, but just this trio of players in the midfield, it's the best of all time. Sorry, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, but you guys didn't win 5 Champions Leagues.
Vinicius on the left, Benzema, and Valverde, who is a center mid but been converted here into a right wing.
He's just so fast.
Just so good, so fast, so young. Uruguay has a future.
With him, yeah.
Not Luis Diaz? Oh,
Luis Diaz is Colombiano. Yeah.
Who am I thinking about then? There's another good Uruguayan player coming up. You know what I'm hearing here, Chiba? This is a great team, the greatest midfield of all time, right? As you're saying, this team is solid. This team is probably one of the best of all time. This is the exact same team that Chelsea beat last season to win the Champions League. So it's only appropriate that the only people to be, fit to win the title.
That Chelsea team last year was just
it was special.
special.
Like they were on a run.
was
They were on a
something
run.
else, yeah.
Yeah, they were on a good run.
So when you're on a good run, you're able to beat this team.
I think if anybody but Chelsea plays Man City in that final, Man City wins the Champions League.
Yeah, Man City is otro pedo. It's just with Haaland, who knows. But yeah, so Benzema, who's without a doubt top contender to win the Ballon d'Or, right?
Yeah.
Like without a doubt, he ends up scoring a goal, ruled offsides. Very much a lot of debates on Twitter over this one. Alan mainly just arguing, saying that Fabinho deliberately didn't play the ball, and me as a center back myself, I mean, just you can say go. You understand the risk you take when you're sliding, and that there's gonna be a rebound, and I just hate that rule. That I understand if there's a set piece and it bounces off someone, someone's just offsides the whole time. But in this certain situation, like Valverde didn't even really get the shot off. Like in a sense, it's like Fabinho's pass. I think this should have counted. But did get 2 Euros and a World Cup in the span of 4 years. Yeah, but club-wise, sorry, 619 Soccer. You're a Barca fan, but Modric, Casemiro, and Cruz is the greatest of all time. But yeah, this goal should have counted. What do you think?
By the letter of the law, it has to count. It
Oh,
has
okay.
to count.
Thank you.
Even by the letter of the law, it has to count. That's taking out any type of angles, any type of. You have the technology. This is what pisses me off about VAR. Like you still got the call wrong. It took you so long. There could have been great action happening for 4 or 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it was. There could have been some great back and forth because this first half was absolutely dead. Like everybody just sucked. And the game needed this. The game needed this. I'm glad that it happened just because it did spice things up coming back from the half. And it's still even playing field 0-0. But yeah, if that implicit slide, if you've played, as you were saying, if you've played, you know what that slide is. That was deliberate. You know what you're doing at that point. So there's just so much that happened in that.
Anyways, so goal doesn't count.
But you know what? Ball don't lie.
Ball never lies,
Ball
guys.
does not lie. And I'm glad. Either way, had this goal counted or not, Madrid won. And I like it when that happens.
So play this one. This is on Trent Alexander. On Alexander Arnold. Like, why is he so, like, Konate's right there with Benzema. You saw him coming your way, and you don't anticipate it?
Nope.
That's just poor defending.
Caught sleeping.
Poor defending on his part, and for him to be praised as one of the best right backs in the world, I don't know, man.
Defensively, no. Like, that's the thing. Defensively, absolutely not.
So I think he works best if you play him as a wing back, where you have 3 center backs, and maybe Liverpool wants to check in on that. Because if you're playing as a wing back, oh man, it'd be dangerous. But
check that out, right? Like, look at that space, even in the beginning of the play.
And he sees him. He turns and sees him, so he knows he's coming over there. I don't know if it's miscommunication from Konate as well, saying like, hey, you get Benzema, but then the right wing Salah should have maybe dropped as well to defend. He's nowhere to be seen here. So, because there it's only 3 of them. Who's missing there? Van Dijk's over there. Robertson pushed up too much. Like, what a cross. I think it's a shot.
Maybe.
I think un tiro centro.
Un tiro centro. Like,
Tiro centro.
half there, half not. But, like, create the chaos in the box. The ball rolled all the way through. Maybe he was aiming to get it to Benzema.
Yeah.
But either way, Vini deserved this goal. Madrid deserved this goal.
Brazil is just going to be stacked, man.
They're going to win the World Cup.
So I asked you, too, and you guys can let me know in the chat. Who would you start at defensive mid for Brazil? You would start Casemiro or Fabinho? And you said Fabinho right now.
I would start
Fabinho.
Fabinho only because Casemiro is coming back from injury, but because the World Cup is not in the summer, it's going to be in the winter. That gives Casemiro a little bit more time to come back, a little more time to recuperate, because he didn't play bad in this game either. Like, he really didn't. He kept his own.
Yeah.
But that's tough. That's a tough situation to be in if you're
the man of the match for sure, Courtois. Just Liverpool had their game plan, and they had chances, but
this one, just being at that place that you have to be. There's only one possible way that ball goes in, and you have to be there.
Yeah.
Like, in any given goal, there's only one possible way and angle that the ball can roll through, and you have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your job. And Courtois was there multiple times, just a masterclass. And
Yeah.
I do not like Thibaut Courtois. He played for Chelsea. He was back up with Czech. He was a punk, whatever. Like, he's a world class, the best goalkeeper in the world right now.
Atletico Madrid to just produce world class goalkeepers.
Top five. Top one is Courtois. You have All-Black. You have who else? Do you
At
have?
one point.
De Gea is not top 5.
No.
He's-
Okay,
oh.
I'll still make the argument, but I'm just saying goalkeepers that Atletico has produced. De Gea,
Oh, yeah.
Oblak. Who else played? Oh, Courtois. Which is amazing performance. Give him the Ballon d'Or. No, that's all Benzema's. Like, if Benzema doesn't win it,
Even Messi said he deserves it.
like,
Messi, he can pull some strings, I'm pretty sure. Sextuple better than the 5 champions. There's only one Premier League champion. Okay, Mir, we get it. You guys are good.
I do think winning the Premier League is more difficult than winning a Champions League, but
not if you're Man City though.
not if you're Man
Not
City.
if you're Man City.
Not if you're Man City. Or Liverpool, I guess.
Fabinho wasn't trying to play football. Was aiming for a penalty. And if both unavailable, Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle
One of them will
is
be
good.
available for sure.
Ederson.
Tony, Chelsea
Chelsea
changes ownership from Russian money to Dodgers money, and a dude named Todd. How you feeling? I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Not
I
great.
wasn't going to bring it up.
Not great, Steve.
Tony Sanchez is a Dodger fan now.
I had to root for
You
blood money. I had to.
Dodger-loving
No.
mother flower.
And it's the same type of hue of blue in a way. And there's going to be crossovers.
Tony loves
like-
Dodger blue.
I can see it now. Oh, Kai Havertz throwing the first pitch at a Dodger game. Oh, my God. And
It's great.
I hate it.
Dope.
It's like anybody else. Just have it renamed the team London Blue and just destroy the
I'm
branding
scared
of it.
because now
Just like whatever.
Chelsea Jews might be one of the best teams in the world now. Just like Dodgers is.
Now
Now
I don't like where
you're
this is
no
going.
longer current
You're seeing
European champions.
You're seeing. That is absolutely true. The zeros have hits. The Champions League tournament is over. Real Madrid are the current defending undisputed
You're still
Champions
world
League.
champions.
We are still absolutely world champions, and don't you fucking forget it. All right, 6th place.
Yeah.
Don't you ever forget that. Europa.
Fine.
Speaking of Europa, wait. So this conference, does it count that much? The Europa Conference, because Mourinho is getting
it's a trophy,
of a lifetime.
but it's a
from
trophy
Roma.
nobody has ever won, right? And he's literally been the only guy, the only coach to win every European competition. So there was a tweet. that
Oh
someone
no, I got
quoted
you,
it.
boy.
Oh,
I got you,
got it?
boy. I got you, boy. I got you, boy. It's
Parks
here,
the
boy.
Roma bus. Just Mourinho parking a bus. Like, this
Sorry.
is the content we all want.
And,
Mourinho literally parking a bus.
shout out to the boy Josabeth in the chat.
Yep.
Fuck that game. Liverpool should have won. Well, you guys should have played better. Well, you guys should have had a striker.
Dude,
Well-
you're a Madrid fan, Hosa.
Ooh, Modric and
Oh,
Cruz.
Yeah.
Ancelotti's dance.
this
Yeah,
it?
no, it's not. It's not. Let me
Dude.
find it. Let me find it.
It's just it's with the kids and the team. Like,
Vini. Yeah, here it is.
Ancelotti's just so wholesome, dude. Oh man, that's good for Madrid. Shout out to Madrid. You can't rule them out of Champions League, ever.
They're the great. Teams know how to win, and Real Madrid is the team that knows how to win in those situations. Like,
And it's not like they had an easy run. They went through Chelsea.
they went through 1, 2, 3 of the Premier League.
Yeah,
They
went to
through
PSG.
the champions of France.
They went through Chelsea.
They went yes,
City
1, 2, 3.
and Liverpool.
Like it's the best team in Europe.
So now the question is, everyone always saying that
They're the best team
the
in
Premier League is the
Spain.
best league in the world, but when
Mhm.
it comes to European finals, Spanish 17 times Spanish teams have beat anyone that's not like
They've
Spain,
beat
right?
11 of the last English teams that they've faced in the final.
Whew.
I think that was that.
I want to drug test that goalie. Courtois. Dude, he was just locked in, man. He was just locked in. Yeah. When you're locked in, nothing. What is that picture? Madrid. Oh, PSG.
Where?
Oh, everyone had 86 points.
Every winner of the leagues. Yup.
Not in the Premier League.
Checo Perez.
Checo
Shout out
Perez.
Checo Perez winning the
Yes, sir.
Monaco Grand Prix. F1 is fantastic. It's the greatest sport. I love it.
The greatest sport not involving a ball,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
More than wrestling.
Where's Lewandowski going to go?
Barca.
You sure?
He's very convinced. I spoke to him earlier this week, and supposedly like he's set on Barcelona. Perisic is going to Tottenham. So there's transfers already
There's
happening.
movements happening.
Sadio Mane is
To Bayern.
probably going to go to Bayern Munich. He's out. So now the question is, who is Liverpool going to get, right? Like, they need a striker. They really need a striker. It was like Chiba running like a god at poker night.
I don't know what the fuck that was. Like, that was a Courtois like.
We need a 2 balls and a mic hosted poker night and
I'm
invite
down.
a bunch
And then
of
have the
buddies.
cameras on top, and then have people. I'm down. I'm down.
Um,
Would you,
Just need a location.
Anybody want to play? Anybody want to play that, boys?
location. Could be a charity match, charity poker, where some of the winnings go to charity.
I want to get this clean. San Diego Union Tribune is ass.
Yeah.
And I just want to get that
That's
clean.
the
'cause
clip.
That's the clip.
Uh,
That's the clip.
Well, yeah, man. We didn't give away the loyal jersey.
Yes, we will.
the
We're
watch
still going to
party.
donate to Rady Children's Hospital.
Mhm.
We were told that somebody was going to match it. So hopefully that still goes through. So we'll do that probably January, February, March, April, May. Cool. We have a day because it ends in May.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you that. Jalanta City. We will start with more NFL coverage as the days pass because, international soccer is going to start again in the Nations League. Who cares about the Nations League? De Bruyne was like, I hate the Nations League. Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
We're about to give a England away jersey in a bit. So I think it's a good spot, boy. What do you feel about that?
I'm down.
Thank you to our lovely people who are still in the chat. Stay safe because we're gonna give a jersey. Shout out to Califino Tequila. Acafino Califino. Get your 20% off Califino Tequila using the promo code 2balls 2BALLS 20. Proceeds of that come back to the 2 balls and a mic and maybe can help put a dent in the credit card debt that Chiva has put himself in because of this podcast. We're also go ahead and shout out PB European Imports and Smog Express. If you need a smog check out Smog Express over in Pacific Beach. You could look that up. Look up the address. Shout out Alex on there. So if you need anything smog related, they got you covered over in PB. And thank you to the lovely people over in the chat because they're awesome.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We're about to give this jersey away right now. Thank you for listening.
Uh,